you might be able to see the ghosts of the city because art students are kind of, I would say, infamous for dressing a little unusual. Yuan Shikai also performed a ritual there.
He tried to become the emperor. Basically like Cixi.
The bad female emperor.
But you need to keep your eyes open. Some of them are tours only and they will scam you.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be telling you about the top 10 things that we think that you should do if you're visiting Beijing. Let's get started. The first one you for sure heard about, I think, the Forbidden City. It's at least the second most famous. It is beautiful, it makes for amazing pictures, and if you want to, you can rent Hanfu or Qifu. It has been the home of Ming Emperor and Qing Emperor, so we recommend that you pick either a Mingzhi Hanfu or Qifu.
And it'll be more fun if you know the history behind. It's a wonderful place to visit, but you need to book the ticket way ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the most popular places.
And I recommend that you come there right as it opens because it will fill up. No matter which day you're visiting, there'll be a lot of people in there. It could be hard for you to see it in peace and quiet if that's what you want. And if you are lucky and you're visiting on a day where there is thunder, you might be able to see the ghosts of the city. Because it has this crazy phenomenon because the red paint that they use to paint the walls actually has photographic memory. So in the old days when there was a thunderstorm and the ladies of the court was walking around, it actually captured their images into the wall, and you can see them sometimes when there is a thunderstorm. So if you're there on a day where there is thunder and you see a ghost, it's probably just a photo actually, but I think it could be fun to see that.
Yeah, that's one of the urban legend.
Yeah.
And right now, Forbidden City products are very, very popular.
Especially the cats.
The palace cats
are probably one of the most valuable IPs.
Yeah.
You can get ice cream, makeup. Jay actually gave me makeup as a present for my birthday.
Yeah.
That is themed around the cats. It's very cute. But we didn't see any of the cats because there's so many people, so I think the cats find a place. I will say, if you want to see the full palace, it will take you the whole day. And it's unlikely that you have enough time that you get to see all of it before you get tired at the very least. I would also recommend that you then afterwards go up on the Coal Mountain to see the view of the full city from above. It is also where the last Ming Emperor hung himself.
任贼分裂阵势，误伤百姓一人。
Well, he hung himself when they got invaded by peasant army then.
Yeah.
It's a very great place to visit, and it's not that hard to get up there. But the view is amazing, so it'll be sad if you miss out on it, I think.
And then number 2 is Tiananmen Square. I think it's a very famous place. It's right next to Forbidden City, so you can see the Tiananmen building. Again, you need appointment to get on that building. And then you can see People's Hero Monument, and you can see our People's Hall, like Congress. And you can see Mao Zedong's mausoleum.
I went there as a kid. We didn't go last time.
Yeah, it's a very, very big square. And also, the National Museum is right next to it.
Yeah.
So if you have time, that place takes you a day.
Yeah.
But I think you can just pick and choose whatever you want to see.
And remember, when you're walking around in Beijing, you need to have your passport with you, or if you're Chinese, your ID card, because they will check it multiple times. I think just at the Tiananmen Square, I think we got checked 3 times before being allowed in. So that's just so you remember it, because otherwise they will not let you in.
And also, if you are interested, if you have the time, if you can get up, you can go see the flag ceremony.
But you need to get up very early. We
Yeah.
didn't have the energy to do it.
Summer it means 3 a.m.
Yeah. In the future, I hope I get to see it. It would be really great. But I think unless you have any relationship with this country, maybe it won't mean that much to you.
Yeah.
So I would say pick and choose, because your day can become really long if you get up that early and then you plan to see other things as well. So Hutong, we stayed in the Hutong area and it was really awesome. It is some old buildings. I think The original ones, which are not the ones that stand there today, date all the way back to the Mongol time. And the word hutong also come from Mongolian encampments. But it is a very chill area. It is all old buildings that have been owned by people for many, many generations. Although you might not be able to tell by the buildings, they are insanely valuable. These people have a lot of money that live there because the area that they live on is very expensive. But people take a lot of pride in living there. There's a lot of individually owned stores. So you see a lot of little fun boutiques. There's a lot of vintage shops where we were staying.
So you gotta know that hutong is just a type of building.
Yeah.
And also it's a type of lifestyle, you can say. Hutong is basically around the whole Arhuan. There's real hutong that people live, and it could be a little bit messy. And there's very commercial places. I personally would recommend you to go to, let's say, like Dashilar, that area, Nanluo Guxiang, Yandai Xiejie. Those places are more tourist friendly, I think.
Yeah.
But if you want to explore more places, you can go to just walk around. It's quite chill. Like, people are very welcoming.
Yeah, but be aware that sometimes they're not so cool with you taking pictures because this is where people actually live. So
yeah,
they might not be super into a bunch of tourists just coming and overwhelming them. It's mostly elderly people that live there, and they're very, very into chatting. And there is a lot of, not vintage shop, but where they sell like communist artifact like Mao's Little Red Book. They also sold Tintin in a lot of them because Tintin was actually co-started by a Chinese person together with the Belgian artist, which is why you see so many Chinese elements, which I didn't know before I came to China. It's so cool because Tintin was my favorite cartoon as a kid.
They just sell a lot of old stuff.
Yeah.
Like
you can find all
old
kinds of
comic
crazy
books,
stuff. Poster, little commercial, you know those things when you buy stuff.
Yeah. Different stores sell different stuff. Old porcelain.
But a very good experience. It's also a place I would recommend just going, sitting down at a little bar. There's a lot of them in the hutongs. And you find a mix of locals and visitors.
Number 4 is the Great Wall, of course. But you have plenty options in Beijing. You can go visit Badaling, which is the most crowded.
Yeah, it's the one that's popular with Chinese locals.
Yeah.
And then
you can go to Mutianyu, which is quite popular among foreigners.
Yeah, it's the one that people say have the best picture.
Yeah, and it has that slope.
Yeah, so you can get very, very beautiful pictures there. And it's a little less crowded. They also have that little slide you can go down.
Great Wall used to be a border wall. You probably want to wear comfortable shoes because it could be very hard to climb sometimes.
Yeah.
I know you guys think it's quite flat because I turned the camera this way. But it's actually this.
We're going like... I would say even like fashion sneakers are not a good choice because the bottom sole isn't good, because I think people have the idea that it's stairs that you'll be climbing, and a lot of it is actually just a slope, and it's obviously very slippery because for hundreds of years people were walking on it, and now every year it has millions of tourists coming in. So keep that in mind. It can be a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience, and if you're visiting during winter, be extra careful not to fall.
And if you go to Badaling later, if you have the time, you can go visit the Ming Tomb. Yeah, it's quite close to that place.
And you can even do what me and my family did the first time we went to Beijing, where you stay at a hotel close to the wall. I will say, if you're interested, it is actually nice to have a one-night stay where you can see multiple sections of the wall. So you don't have to compromise because you probably want to spend some time there. It takes a while to climb.
And if you visit during winter, just be careful. It could be very windy, very cold. Because, you know, you're in mountains and it's the north.
Yeah.
Winter is coming.
The wind is no joke in the north, and the cold isn't either.
Yeah.
The 798 Art Zone. So this is a little bit outside of the other things we've mentioned because it's not historic in the same way. It is a collection of art galleries, buildings. There's also a section where there's an old train station. It's very like a mixed bag. We saw a lot of Japanese people hanging out there, and there's a lot of cool photo opportunities if you want some more like edgier looking photos. I think it's a great place to go if that's something that you care about from your trip. I think a lot of young people care about this.
Yeah, you can find like very cool place, like photo friendly places, and we saw more young foreigners there. Yeah, and there's a lot of art students. It used to be like factory area. I think people left. Art students, artists move in because, you know, they want a place that was spacious and they want to have places to put their exhibition. So gradually it became like an art zone, and I think it's very cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool stores there as well, like very unique fashion choices, because art students are kind of, I'll say, infamous for dressing a little unusual. We also saw a store that had some crazy figurines, like enormous, very well done, very expensive figurines. So you find stuff that you wouldn't find in most tourism areas, I would say.
Yeah. Temple of Heaven. I think this place is very cool. A lot of old people work out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very green place. And there's those palaces that used to be ceremony places for royalties.
So the temple was built during Ming Dynasty in the early 1400s, and it was used as a place of ceremony for good harvest is one of the things. And during the ROC period of China, Yuan Shikai also performed a ritual there. So it has been used even in modern China times for its original purpose.
He tried to become the emperor.
And you can actually find pictures of it where he is wearing a version of Hanfu.
Yeah.
It is also another place where I will say wearing Hanfu will not be seen as out of place, and where you can get quite good photos wearing Hanfu.
And a lot of people take photos there.
Yeah, but please respect the border, like wall stuff that they've put up to protect the architecture. We saw some people try to climb over and they got in some trouble.
And don't act like this woman.
Hohai is a really great area to visit to see some more local people's daily life, I think. You can go there and see people play mahjong. We saw some people also play, what is it called? Like Chinese chess.
象棋.
And you see people exercising. You can also rent a bike and bike around the lake. And in winter, you can go ice skating there, right?
Yeah.
And in the summertime, you can do paddleboarding, which I really wanted to, but we didn't have time.
And there's quite a lot of bars around that area, but you need to keep your eyes open. Some of them are tourists only and they will scam you.
I would recommend, if you do go to a place and you're worried about this is my way of getting around it, is that when you see the menu, you pay at the beginning instead of waiting. Because if you've already paid, they can't really tell you anything. Because sometimes they'll give you one menu with some prices and then later on the price will be completely different. And it might be a little bit scary if you're a tourist and you don't know the law. But what they do is illegal. So don't be scared to report it if you're a victim of any type of scam.
Summer Palace. So this is a royal garden in late 19th century. Several European powers invaded that place and raided that place. So for us, there's historical meaning. It's
another place I really recommend you read up on so you understand what it is and the significance of it.
Basically, like 慈禧,
the bad female empress.
Yeah, basically the empress built this, like, or renovate this place, and she put a lot of very valuable stuff in it.
这大清国怎么穷到这份儿上了？连个修园子的钱都拿不出来。
Nowadays, basically a very, very big park, and there's lake, and there's very crazy buildings that you can go up.
The building where you can go up, you have to pay a little bit extra to go up there, but it's 100% worth it. It was even a little bit cozy because a storm hit Beijing for like an hour or two when we were there, so we were actually inside that portion just sitting there waiting. But it was very cozy in the rain even. I have been there twice now. We took some pictures where we tried to match up the original trip I went on in 2007 and now in 2024. I'll say it already looked amazing back then. I remember this place as being magical. Like I was obsessed with it. It was a very foggy day because you have a whole waterfront. So the steam from the water created this atmosphere that was almost like those fairy painting from Chinese like art.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And as a little girl, I was just captivated by it all. And then to come back on a day where it's so sunny and it's a completely different atmosphere is so interesting. But it's incredibly beautiful. It's also another place where I would say if you want to wear hanfu, you could get more beautiful pictures there.
I mean, almost everyone hates that woman,
Yeah.
but no one doubt her taste for like self-indulgence.
Yeah.
要是连我的生日都过寒碜了，不但连我面子没地方搁，朝廷的面子也没地方搁。
So this is a little bit outside of what I probably normally recommend people because I'm not a party person, but the Beijing nightlife is very unique. I will say we didn't go to like the crazy places because neither of us is up for that type of stuff, but we went kind of pub crawling to a bunch of different bars. They have like punk and rock bars. I don't know how big it is, but it used to be enormously big in Beijing, and they definitely still have this culture ingrained there.
Yeah.
And again, the Hutong area, you can have a very unique nightlife experience. I had a lot of fun. They also have very unique drinks, I will say. Be aware that Beijing is very centered around beer. So if you like beer, there's a lot of beer bars that have their own selection of beer.
Yeah. I think the unique part is like a lot of bars in Beijing have their own characters. Like they have unique themes.
We went into a bar where it said no means no. If you don't agree, then off.
Yeah.
On every table. It was very interesting. This is very unique even for European standards to have this type of decor. And they have a lot of places where they have live music. You just need to check the hours that they'll be playing.
Yeah. And if you can speak a little bit Mandarin, or you can find people who can speak English, you definitely need to talk to the locals. That people are very outspoken about their opinion.
I'll say the most unique thing to me was in one of the bars we went to, we were sitting and we could hear 3 young women discussing politics very like excitedly on their own, which is a thing you don't come across so much where we're living.
Yeah.
So again, it's a very unique experience. I really recommend it.
Panjiayuan. So this place is also very unique. I think even before this country was found, people already started trading stuff in that area. Kind of like a flea market.
Yeah.
But nowadays the scale of it is very big. Like it's a flea city.
Yeah. It's so enormous.
Yeah, people sell jade, like sapphire, even stuff very expensive.
Yeah.
Jewelry, to like very little things, like a fan or something.
Yeah, I think the part that I found the most interesting is the book part. If it's something you're interested in, I think for a lot of tourists, these little things will be more fun, possibly. Like you can buy ration labels. Like it's not money, it's back when the country was founded early on, they had ration labels for like meat or these different
food
things.
Stamps.
Yeah, and you can find notes. I'll say obviously you shouldn't overpay for it because there are fakes involved, and if you don't know what you're looking for, it can be very easy for them to trick you. If people say to you that a piece of porcelain is insanely valuable and they're sitting on the ground with it, I would advise you don't trust them just because you're not educated enough to spend that type of money.
Yeah.
您这是存心的，你这胡说八道。
In that case, I would go somewhere else, but just to see it is a great experience.
Yeah. And you can buy something cheap. For example, you know it's not old.
Yeah.
Things you know is a copy or is
Cheap little thing.
yeah.
As a memory of your trip. They kept showing me this very cute, I
Turtle.
love turtles, okay? They don't know that. I don't know how they could like look at me and be like, turtle person. But it's like these turtles that are within another turtle.
Yeah,
And
I think it's 5 turtles in one.
Yeah, and then they even have like a little turtle that's on top of the other turtle. It was so cute. And they had like multiple places showed it to me. You can also find like older styles of hair needle.
Yeah.
But there is an enormous, like ungodly large section where they sell like nuts, beautiful nuts.
They brush it and like polish it.
I'm not making fun of it.
They put oil on it and polish it.
I think it's super cute. You're not supposed to eat it, guys. I was questioning if I was supposed to. And they sell like beads, different types of beads, like everything from amber to crystal for the crystal girlies, because that's a very popular thing to be into in the West. You can buy so much of it in China for such a low price because China produces a crazy amount of crystal anything.
Yeah.
And the price is a lot lower.
Yeah, and I think they have night market every Wednesday and Friday night, open to midnight, like 12 a.m. So I think it's an amazing place. And during the night market time, they have more stuff, even like street food. All right, that's our recommendations.
I hope you guys will have a fun trip to Beijing and that you will enjoy the things we recommended. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.